Hi, I'm Mary, and I'm dead. But before we get to that, let's start a little earlier. I was born in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and moved to Dallas, Texas when I was 10 years old. Race wasn't really like a thing in Ethiopia. Everyone was black, so there was that. We definitely had our colorisms, but everyone was still black, so it wasn't really until I got to the US I had to really understand what that meant. When I got to the US, I tried to be as American as possible, so I consumed the culture. I thought that Celine Dion was a goddess, and I was obsessed with Full House, and I either wanted to marry or make John Stamos my BFF. I can't really remember. I was 10. When I got to the South, people used to ask me really weird things like, how did you get here? Were you smuggled in, or did they let you leave? I hear it's difficult to get out of Africa. Such a big country. Whenever kids asked me about my house, I'd fuck with them and say that I lived in a hut with lions, and that if they touched my hair one more time, I would get my spear from my moleskin backpack and shoot them. Safe to say that I didn't really have friends in elementary school. Everyone either thought I was going to eat them or attack them with my bow and arrow. I don't even think Ethiopians do that, but the white kids were scared. So the South being the South and America being America, to fit in meant to be white, so I tried to be as white as possible. Britney Spears was my idol. I never brought up race because what is race? We just all love each other, and I safely made it throughout my teens without becoming a teenage mother. Now, that was pretty white, right? College is when everything started to make a little bit more sense. It was amazing. The administration sucked, but the people that I met there and the few professors that I had were just pretty badass. Not only did I make amazing friends, but I began to read things not just written by dead white men. I read Toni Morrison. I discovered a love for bell hooks and wrestled with the pain in songs like Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday. I discovered that coconut oil and olive oil were not just for food, but also could be pretty good for my hair. Oh, and I also grew a fro. I discovered that Assata Shakur was not a terrorist at all, though she was a lethal threat to the ideas of white supremacy. The best part, though, were these people. Shay and Andrew and I used to be in a slam poetry group. Michelle, my right-hand girl, always going along with all of my schemes. She was just the best. Naya, she was dope. We took an African history class together, and I think she really, really liked it. And Yudi, well, that's Yudi. So what happened after college? I became a pastor, and I began organizing protests to fight against social injustices. I took the church to the streets, and I brought the people to the church. I didn't really see that coming, and neither did any of my friends. And right now, my body is ashes spread across the ocean. I guess it was better to die fighting than to allow myself to be killed slowly. Shay now works on Wall Street. Andrew started to teach at a white school and became like a guru, poet, god, or something like that. Michelle backed with me as I led protests across the country. She was the Malcolm to my MLK, if they were BFFs. Naya, I'm not quite sure what Naya does. She used to work for education policy, but somewhere along the line she became Afrocentric, and Africa was just everything for her. I'm not really sure what that means, but she's, I guess, Afrocentric. And Yudi moved to France. I think this is the first time he's been in the US since we graduated. But yeah, these are my people.
Damn, if you said that the next time that I see y'all will be at Mary's funeral, I wouldn't have believed it. How'd she die anyway?
She died from chicken.
Chicken?
She choked on some grilled chicken and died.
Damn. Her last meal wasn't even fried.
I can't believe she's dead. I mean, she's always like jogging, eating vegetables, and like, I don't know, like yoga.
That don't mean nothing. Shit, I know why she dead.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Look, you know the kind of shit she was into. I told her ass from day one that all that Malcolm X and Ida B. Wells love child shit was gonna get her ass popped eventually.
I mean, yeah, like, I agree. Like, I don't believe in, like, violent radicalism, like peaceful protesting, like trees, like sitting on them, like putting cans in recycling bottles and stuff. Like, yeah, but I wouldn't hit a cop.
But Miss Mary Shakur did not die from hitting a cop.
That's what the news said. What did she do?
I mean, of course they said that shit. Homegirl died from choking on some chicken. Yes.
This chicken?
Not that chicken.
Okay.
But I'm lying. She didn't really die from choking on no chicken. She, you remember how she was allergic to peanut oil?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you remember that one time, junior year, she ate some peanut butter and blew the fuck up like a Thanksgiving Day parade turkey?
Yeah, like the balloons.
Yeah.
Like the Macy's ones.
Yeah, she looked just like a turkey. That's what happened.
That's sad as fuck. That's so sad.
At least she died eating some chicken.
That political work would have killed her anyway. I consider her a lucky one. Shit. I'm glad I got out while I did. I couldn't fight the suits while still being in one. I feel like to be free, you need to feel free and grounded. Like, literally. Ask me if I'm wearing anything under this. I'm not. Nothing. Freedom.
I see what you're saying, and it's dope. I appreciate you don't have the underwear on. I too enjoy some days without underwear, going commando, being part of the military and whatnot. But how could you feel free if you're constantly being acted on by the system of oppression? It's like, if you just act like if the system isn't actually doing anything to you, are you actually free, or are you just pretending you're free?
See, I thought I was helping going into policy, but under white supremacy, you can't do shit. I mean, there's no such thing as infiltrating the system. It's time to create a new one. I was thinking like Mesopo-Africania. MPA for short. Maybe that's too long.
I see where you're coming from, Naya. I really do. And once upon a time, I too had dreams. I dreamt of, going to India. So then I did. And I was like, ooh, you was Zaddy, and you was Zaddy, and you was Zaddy. Oh. And they're like, hey, bitch. And I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, and I was like, yeah. And misogyny in India is pretty intense,
I guess.
Yeah. Then I was like, maybe India's not for me. They've been colonized by the British for a couple hundred years now, Maybe I'll just head over to Brazil, because they got that diversity.
Brazil's nice.
Multicultural.
Mm-hmm.
They got the highest black population outside of Nigeria.
Exactly.
And I was like, I don't go to Brazil.
Oh.
And I went, and I was like in my bikini, showing off my abs, and I was like, oof, body on fleek, body on fleek, body on fleek.
Angles.
And then I arrived at the beach, and they're like, the favelas over there, I think that's what you're looking for. And I was like, oh shit, the favelas. Huh.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
But then I was like, maybe I'll try Africa.
Ooh. See, I just did that genealogy shit, and guess what? I am from every continent in Africa except one, and every continent in Europe except one. Boom. Diversity. Right here. Right here.
Yeah, so how's all your poet guru shit been going, man?
It's been like so nourishing. Like I have my fourth book coming out. It's about like Buddha and words and stuff. And like I just got tenured at the Eastern Religions Department.
Oh
like,
shit,
the
that's
creative
lit.
writing department. Yeah, I just feel like the institution just like really values my work so much. I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah.
they don't always let me talk at meetings, but they're really nice to me. And I mean, the money's good.
So
How's Wall Street playing?
you know I'm well. At one point I was being considered for partner actually, but I guess my hair was a bit too natural for them. But I don't know, they're all some fucking idiots anyway. You know, my pockets are well fed. My family is too. That's all I really care about. That kind of shit.
Yeah, you know, the soul can only be as fed as the stomach will allow it. A wise man said that from someplace.
You sure you didn't just get that off of Snapple's bottle cap?
This whole shit. He's so worked up about that.
I know, he's a horrible crying face.
No, I spent like 2 weeks in a temple in China. Yeah, like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I've spent 10 years with white people who kind of live by the logic of horoscope apps. I think I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, contributing to horoscopes is my summer income. That and yoga class. Damn.
Mon Dieu, je ne sais pas, je ne sais pas, je sais pas ça. Mon Dieu, je perdis mon chéri ami. Oh mon Dieu, qu'est-ce que je vais faire? Mary, pourquoi? Le jeune toujours mourir jeune.
What was your relationship with Mary?
I would just tell her that I loved her and a lot of people loved her, and I would tell her, I would thank her for the work that she did that I couldn't do and I had to stop doing. So I thank her for that. Yeah.
I wrote this last night. Haiku for Dead Mary. Chickens in the spring dance down your throat till you choked. We carry your name. You deserve better poems than I can give.
I love you, Mary. And I beg you, please stop trusting white people. Especially not their chicken. Don't trust their chicken. Don't trust any food they try to give you.
Mary, mon amour, je suis très fier de toi. Reposez en paix.
I hope the chicken was worth it. I'm playing. No, I value deeply the time that I got to know you. And I'm sorry it was the money that drove us apart.